Good morning, it's Barbara. Thank you for joining me for coffee. As predicted yesterday, my neighbor's mowing the lawn, but that's okay. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Good morning. I forgot to show you the gizmo. I think it says it's 61, but it feels warmer than that. So maybe it's 62 now. I don't know. I'm going to use some of my Wonder Skin today. This one is Bella. Bella as in the vampire movies? What is it, Twilight? I did read the books. But it also reminds me of, I used to watch Elementary. I love that show. And one of the shows, Sherlock had to prove that the artificially intelligent doll, Bella, had not killed someone. So every time I see Bella, that's what I think of. Now my Isabel, I don't think I'm going to get that corner right. My Isabel goes, we thought when she was, but right before she was born, we thought she was going to be Izzy. And her uncle, Chucky, calls her Izzy. But I always do that. But since she could talk, she called herself Isabel. So we started calling her Isabel. Well, and before she could talk, I was calling her Pumpkin. So I once, when she was very small, was talking to her about that, and I said, "Oh, and your Uncle Chucky calls you Izzy?" She says, "Yes." "And you call me Pumpkin." I said, "Yes, we do call you Pumpkin." That's what I said to her the minute I met her. I took her in my arms and said, "Hello, Pumpkin." We don't call her Pumpkin too much anymore because we don't have the same kind of exact name for Sammy, like, you know, Sweetheart or Bunny or whatever. So we don't call her Pumpkin much anymore. I have no idea why I was talking about that. Oh, Bella, the name of my Wonder Skin. Bella. So, two things I wanted to tell you. Number one, I did call my physical therapy place yesterday, and it turns out I'm wrong. They're closed on Saturday, so I don't have an appointment, but I did make the phone call, and I'm going to call tomorrow. And two, I'm really sorry, that show that I couldn't remember the name of is called Death Valley, which is why it struck me as weird, because of course we have a Death Valley in the United States. It's in the state of California and probably goes over the border to Nevada, but I'm not positive about that. It's usually the warmest place in the country in the summertime. I have been there. It was 125 degrees when we were there in the daytime. I think it got below 100 at night. It is a desert. It's a very, very much a desert. And it's called Death Valley. So it's a little strange to me that somewhere in the UK is a Death Valley. But anyway, I just watched one of those shows and I enjoyed it well enough, but not enough to watch the second show. I think it's brand new on BritBox, and so they're only putting one a week. So you're not going to be behind if you find it and like it. It's just a, you know, light, funny detective show, and they solved the mystery in the first episode. So it's not one of those where you gotta watch 3 or 4 episodes to find out what happened, or like Jack Wright, have to wait for a new season. For those who didn't watch yesterday, I'm talking about a TV show I watched the other night. So, yeah, and I have to go back and check my recommendations from you guys and figure out something else to watch. I started watching Department Q. I think it's on Netflix. But I realized that it is based on some books, and that I had seen a Department Q done, I don't know, maybe a Dutch version or a Danish version, maybe Danish version of that some years ago. And when I realized I was watching the same thing, I was less interested in it, to be honest with you. And it does not solve the mystery in one episode. I'm kind of beginning to like that concept. I may go back to Death Valley. So anyway, I finished The Residence last night. I had watched it before and I figured it out. I remembered as I was watching the second to last episode, but I found it so enjoyable that I just watched it again, even though I had seen it not that recent, not that long ago. So, but anyway. And I knit 3 more stripes on my sweater. I did not bring it out to show you. But I am at the point of a dilemma now, because I have knit almost exactly as much as it says to do of the body, and now we're going to split for the 2 fronts and the back. So I have a couple dilemmas. Number one, it's a bit shorter than I would typically want to wear or buy. So I'm afraid if I make it to match the pattern, I won't be as happy with it as I want to be. But it is supposed to be boxy, although I don't think it's oversized for me. I had to go up a needle size to try to give it a little bit more space. So I was measuring myself on my shirt, and my shirt is a very nice length, but it's 16 inches, so that's too long because it's not supposed to be just like a regular sweater. So I tucked up my shirt and measured again, and I got to about 12, and the pattern calls for 11.5. So I might just add like 1 inch just to give myself just a little bit more length, so that I'm happier with it when I'm done. And I'm trying to figure out how I could give it, Pearl, that's enough, how I could give it more length later if I didn't figure out it's too short. I don't think I really can. I think starting from the bottom, yeah, I'm not sure how I could. I would have to cut off the bottom ribbing and knit up from the bottom, and knit from the bottom ribbing, and then do a giant Kitchener stitch. I can't. I have to make sure that it's the length I want now. So I need to think about it, but I have already picked my next color. So I'm going to do my next color and then give it a think, because just to make my life easier, I think, as when I'm going to be casting off some stitches under the arms, I'm going to be, it's a cardigan knit from the bottom, which means once I get to where the sleeves come in, I'm knitting one side of the front, the other side of the front, and then the back. Now I do like to knit magic loop, but I think that would just be too much yarn management for me, because the beige stripes have 2 strands of the beige, and it just feels like more management than I want to do. So I think what I'm going to do is just do one side and then do the other side to match. The stripes are very easy to distinguish and to count, so it'll be very easy to make sure that I'm doing the same thing on the both sides of the front, for example. And as I do my colored stripes, my mini stripes, I'll just put them in a separate plastic bag so I have them, and I'll just make sure that I do the next stripe the same for each piece as I go along. One thing, I was reading the pattern again last night, and she says it's 10 grams of the alternate color. I'm only getting 4, but that makes sense because it's by weight. And she's, you know, talking about a DK and I'm talking about a fingering. So my two together weigh 8 to 10 grams. So never mind. Excuse me while I do the math in my head and try to figure out what's going on. All right, let's see what this lipstick looks like. Bella. Not a very well, I guess that kind of matches, doesn't it? Well, it's a stain, so that makes sense. All right, Bella. So anyway, that was my dilemma. I think I'm just gonna put in one more set of colors. Because my stripes, the stripes are only 3/8 of an inch. So, yeah. And anyway, I don't think I'm going to split and then do all 3 pieces on the same magic loop cord, because that would just be too much yarn management. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do up one side, you know. I'm not likely to stop after one front like I would stop after one sock. You know what I mean? So that's my plan. The other thing I'm going to do today is, when I was on the train, I sat on the edge of, you know, like I was moving around. The room wasn't that big. Moving around, and I end up sort of a little bit sitting on the corner of the tray table, which was very cornery. And I thought I would have bruised myself, but I did not. But later I discovered that I have a little slit in my pants. I was wearing light summer pants and they split. And so I haven't worn them since, because they have a split. So I brought the thread and the needle downstairs today. So it's my intention to mend those pants today. That will be something that I've accomplished, and then I would have another pair in rotation. And did I tell you I lost a pair of pants? Well, I decided to do a light load of laundry, and in our house we do 5 loads of darks to 1 load of lights, because Dennis wears dark clothes, period, end of story. Everything is dark. His t-shirts, his underwear, his pants, I mean, he does have a beige pair of shorts that every once in a while, but I think he washes them in the dark load too. You know, his stuff is all, oh, this might change. His stuff is all old and washed many times, and so it's not leaching color, except he just bought new t-shirts. So maybe he's going to be a little more careful not to mix his colors. But anyway, turns out my pants were at the very bottom of the hamper and even didn't get washed in the last light load. I'm like, hey, look what I found. So I have laundry going. Meanwhile, I'm by myself with the dogs right now. Dennis has gone to visit with his mother. His brother is going to go at the same time. His brother doesn't go by himself. His brother's his own guy. He doesn't go by himself, so Dennis always goes. And he's always happy to go because, you know, we haven't seen a lot of his brother in the last few years, and so he's always happy to spend time with Gary. And that's nice. And I am too, except I'm also happy to not go some days. We both went yesterday. We had a lovely visit. We were able to be outside. It was really, really nice. So we had a very nice visit. We warned her that Gary and Holly are coming. Holly is her physical therapist, who is coming on a Sunday to torture her. Dennis is planning to stay till Holly comes, and then he's going to leave and let Gary stay there with her while she hollers and pisses and moans about working too hard. So meanwhile, I am here talking to you, drinking my coffee. Just took my shower. I've got the load in the washer. I have my decision made on my sweater, and I am going to fix my pants. I made my phone call. I do have to get on my computer and pay my credit card today, June 1st. Happy June 1st. We're in June now, guys. Holy cow. So it's going to be a quiet day, and I am also going to make more crackers. So that is the plans for today. Dennis made French buttercream frosting. I was trying to remember because it's not meringue, and he decided he likes the not meringue version better than the meringue, so it uses egg yolks instead of egg whites. And so we have quite a bit of frosting in our refrigerator. Now, how many of you have frosting without any cake? We don't have cake. We do have two different kinds of cookies, although the original cookies are probably getting a little bit stale. But I tried to make my cracker recipe into a cookie, and I wasn't as successful as I would have liked. However, they are a wonderful vehicle for frosting. So that has worked out. They will not go wanting for attention. But meanwhile, we have run out of our crackers. So I will be making crackers and, you know, puttering around the house. Have a few administrative things I could do. Have to pay my credit card. And yeah, but it's a beautiful, beautiful sunny day, bright blue sky, a few clouds here and there, very lovely. And it did rain yesterday, off and on. So that's a good reason for Dennis to not mow, because it's long now and it needs to dry. Although it was really windy yesterday, but then it rained, and it was really, you know, and it's breezy today. So nice breeze will dry the lawn out pretty well. So there you go. That's what's happening with me. I'm feeling pretty good, as you probably can figure out. I'm loving my sweater. Really loving my sweater. It is doing the trick. It is doing the trick. And I knit a couple times. Well, I watched Leslie's podcast yesterday, and it was a nice long one, so I got lots of knitting done. I did have to stop in the middle and walk the dogs. And I might just bring my phone out here and sit out here and watch podcasts on my phone and knit on the beautiful deck, since it's such a gorgeous day. We had an okay walk. There wasn't much going on. Well, there was on the other side of the park, which doesn't affect our walk at all. There was some kind of baseball thing going, some kind of organized youth baseball thing, but not on our side. And I guess soccer's over. You only do soccer in the spring. Wish I had my Merlin up. Sounds like our cardinal, but I don't know what else. Probably two cardinals. They're probably talking to each other. I guess you only do soccer till Memorial Day. I don't know. I'm just guessing. I don't know how long we're going to have school in our district. They were there on Friday. The teachers were there. Our park is right across the street from a school, so we can see if the parking lot's full of teacher cars or not. So anyway, my granddaughters have school for a little while longer. They didn't start school till after Labor Day this year, so they're going into June. But they're starting before Labor Day for the next school season, which means their summer will be a little short. That'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. So, I am not doing crafting with Christy tonight. She is going either traveling or arrived in Virginia for her class she's taking, or conference, or whatever it is. I'm not quite sure. And we will see her next weekend. So that's very exciting. Meanwhile, I guess I'll go. I will talk to you tomorrow. Please take good care of yourselves. Please, please, please stay safe and stay sane.